Ms Judith Cochrane.
Thank you, Mr Principal Deputy Speaker, and I too welcome the opportunity to speak on the motion today. It's every member's responsibility to interpret how the consequences not only of the estimates but the impending budget bill might serve to improve and develop our local economy and what impact that will have on our constituents. I'm glad that in his opening remarks the Minister has highlighted our need to not just focus on our public sector spending but on the importance of supporting our private sector as well. And as someone with a key interest and background in business, I'm looking forward actually to chairing the first formal meeting of an all-party group on small and medium-sized enterprises tomorrow, where we'll be hearing directly from our small business sector how we can further assist them to grow and prosper. The challenging financial environment that we face must be handled maturely and innovatively, as although there has been some good news today, there will undoubtedly be further impact on the economy, for instance as the Welfare Reform Bill progresses, and Mr Bradley has already outlined some concerns that we do have around that. In some aspects, the challenge can pass to individual departments to manage their own individual budgets. However, that would be rather short-sighted and would also indicate a missed opportunity. Collaboration between departments is imperative, and we must continue to focus on early intervention and prevention, as a shift in the balance of resources into programmes that seek to prevent problems from emerging or to seek to intervene at an early stage can produce savings through avoiding the need to spend greater levels of resources as problems fully develop. More than ever, however, we must seek to tackle our duplicated services and the divided society that this perpetually reinforces. And I'm sure the Minister will not be surprised to hear me state in this House once again that the cost of division in Northern Ireland drains our economy of around £1 billion per year. I welcome the fact that other parties have finally come round to the Alliance Party's way of thinking, such as the First and Deputy First Ministers building a united community strategy. But shared future soundbites are worth nothing unless serious action is then taken at Assembly level. And we need to create serious and achievable targets in order to progress a truly shared future for everyone. And these targets must have the required resource allocated to them through our estimates and our budgeting process. One of the most significant areas of duplication remains in our education system, and the vast majority of our schools still serve only one part of the community. We've ended up with too much of the department's money locked up in capital, so the pressure for cuts then falls on our teachers and our pupils and transport, special needs, etc. Expenditure per capita in Northern Ireland is significantly higher in education than all other UK regions, but this resource has actually been eaten up through over-administration and over-provision of partially empty schools. Even in the immediate term, the potential for collaboration could start to realise up to £80 million per year of savings. But unfortunately, the issue of integrated education has been slightly neglected in the Building a United Community strategy, even though integrated education is the issue that most people would identify as a means of overcoming division and the resulting savings. The less ambitious forms of sharing are unlikely to deliver what is needed, and we therefore, as we look ahead, must consider if this is the most effective use of our resources. The Minister for Employment and Learning is, however, reviewing our fragmented teacher training sector. At present, this is the only potential move to develop integration as opposed to just sharing. In housing, we still have the residential segregation, which creates significant cost pressures for both private and social housing, and the territorial display of flags and emblems, along with peace walls, create major inefficiencies in our housing market. Perceptions of territoriality must be addressed, as this also has a negative impact on our business sector. So, Mr Principal Deputy Speaker, in conclusion, there is a strong financial and economic imperative to build a shared future so that our public spending is not wasted on maintaining division. The concept of separate but equal is unsustainable, both economically and morally. Policies that simply adapt to segregation result in inefficient resource allocations. Shared proofing, therefore, of all policy and spending commitments will assist in effective budgeting and spending in Northern Ireland. And this is already the practice of the Alliance Ministers, and thankfully has now been recognised in the Building a United Community document. And I look forward to seeing the positive impact that this can have. Thank you, Mr Principal Deputy Speaker, and we support the motion.
Can I call Mr.